Do you have a picture in your mind of what domestic abuse looks like? For a lot of people, this may be a man attacking a woman. However, same-sex and transgender relationships are just as likely to turn abusive. It's thought that around 25% of LGBT people suffer through violent or threatening relationships, which is roughly the same proportion as heterosexual women. Generally, there's a lot of support out there, but for those within the LGBT community, they say more can be done.
Domestic violence is a very difficult thing for anyone to talk about. I think it's one of those taboo subjects that we just don't talk about. But I think it'd be extra challenging within the LGBT community, and I think there's extra factors and hurdles that can be a barrier for people accessing services or talking about it. I think one of the major challenges is the fact that perhaps you might have to out yourself if you need to access services. You can't perhaps get as much support from family and friends, especially if your family have disowned you for being LGBT, or you're not out to them as well. So it can be a real challenge, and as a community I think we all need to be better at making sure we do talk to people and be aware of the signs and recognise those.
There's no doubt there's a stigma around domestic abuse, so our police are now campaigning to challenge this perception, particularly towards the LGBT community, who remain underrepresented in the reporting of abuse.
What we want to get away with in this campaign is from this perception that domestic abuse is only directed towards certain people. Although women do suffer considerably in terms of the proportion, we know that men, you could be part of the LGBT community, you might be elderly. We know there's an awful lot of domestic abuse occurring where victims are not coming forward. We're trying to give you confidence that whatever background, whatever group that you place yourself in, if you are the victim, you can come to us. We will take your concerns and your crimes seriously, and and we'll help you get justice.
Tragically, the support system for LGBT victims is not nearly strong enough. A few months back, the UK's only national LGBT domestic violence charity collapsed, leaving many without someone to talk to.
I think it's really important. I think it's needed. I think now's the time where we need to reevaluate what's out there and what knowledge is out there. So it's great that the Avon and Somerset Police are out there raising awareness of domestic violence in all its forms, because we need to challenge it in everywhere that it happens, but also to look at specific cases. And the LGBT community is complex and varied, and we all live in different circumstances. So it's great that there's going to be a focus on that, and it's a great reminder actually that domestic violence can happen anywhere.